Fishing beginners, 10 burning questions. Why do fish keep slipping off the hook? Can't cast far enough? Can't cast accurately. When I first picked up a fishing rod, I remember heading to the local reservoir before dawn. The sky was still dark, the air damp with morning mist. I crouched by the bank, eyes glued to the float bobbing on the still water. After what felt like an eternity, it suddenly dipped a solid bite. My heart pounded, adrenaline surged. I swung the rod like a windmill. And missed. The hook flew straight into a tree behind me. I tugged and yanked until the mainline snapped clean off. No fish, no gear, just frustration. That was years ago. Since then, I've spent 3 solid years learning under old Jim, the senior member of our town's fishing club. After countless mistakes and broken lines, I've gathered a fair bit of hard-earned wisdom. Today, I am sharing it all with so you, don't have to waste 3 years figuring it out the hard way. 1. Why do fish keep slipping off the hook? Most of the time, it's not bad luck, it's bad hook placement. I bet that 8 out of 10 lost fish are due to shallow hook. Last summer, I was fishing a quiet river bend when I noticed a younger guy nearby losing fish left and right. I walked over and saw he was using fine wire hooks, meant for small pan to catch thick-lipped carp. That's like trying to pierce leather with a sewing needle. No wonder the fish were spitting the hook. I handed him a size 7 barbed hook designed for carp, sturdy and sharp. Half an hour later, he reeled in a 5-pounder with a grin from ear to ear. Hook tips. For small-mouthed fish like bluegill or roach, use narrow gap hooks just slightly wider than a grain of rice. For big-mouthed fish like carp or grass carp, go with hooks about the width of a peanut. In mixed species waters, bring 2 hook sizes. Size for fine wire, for small fish. Size 7 barbed hooks for larger catches. 2. When should you set the hook? Timing the hook set is a skill that separates beginners from seasoned anglers. I used to strike the moment the float twitched 9 times. Out of 10, I ended up empty. Here's what I've learned. Tiny, jittery movements. That's usually a small fish playing with the bait. Don't rush. Float suddenly dips or shifts sideways. That's your moment. Count 2 seconds silently, then snap the rod upward with your wrist, as if poking through a thick envelope with a pen. I recently took my student Max to the Willow River. He couldn't get the timing right, either too soft or too hard. So I taught him a trick. Brace the rod against your belly button and push forward while setting the hook. The control and force balance out perfectly. That afternoon, he landed 3 fat bream using that move. 3. Can't cast far enough? Don't worry, it's totally normal for beginners to struggle with distance. I once cast a bait ball into my own backpack. The key is not brute strength, it's technique. Last month, at Blue Dragon Lake, I saw a guy sweating buckets just trying to get his sinker out past 10 meters. I helped him adjust his stance. Right hand on the rod grip, index finger holding the line. Left foot forward, right foot back. Body angled sideways to the water. Start by twisting your waist, then drive the shoulder forward, and finally flick your wrist. He tried it 3 times. On the 3rd, the sinker whizzed out over 20 meters. He almost fell into the lake from excitement. 4. The right gear combo for casting. Rod length and sinker. A 4.5 meter rod pairs best with a 30-gram sinker, a DD 5 grams on windy days. Mainline length. Keep your mainline about half a meter longer than your rod. For a 4.5 meters rod, use a 5 meters line. Floats. Use glow-in-the-dark float tips for night fishing. Slim tip floats for daytime accuracy. Accuracy practice. Tie an old basin to a rope and float it 15 meters offshore. First, practice casting a sinker into the basin. Once you hit 8 out of 10, switch to actual bait. I practiced in my backyard for 2 weeks now. I can cast into a manhole-sized target with my eyes closed. 5. Avoid these rookie mistakes. Line check. After each trip, run your fingers along the leader line. If you feel frays or roughness, replace it. I skipped this once and lost an 8-pounder when the line snapped. Couldn't sleep for 3 nights? Snagged hook. Don't yank. Lay the rod flat and slowly pull backward. Most times you'll retrieve the hook. Worst case, cut the leader, not the main line. Safety first. Always check behind you before casting. Last year, someone in a nearby village snagged an old lady's ear with a flying hook. Cost him $700 in hospital bills. Golden rule? Casting is like driving. Check your mirrors before you move. 6. Secret drills from the pros. Towel wall drill. Tie an old towel to the rod tip and flick it against a wall. Try to land it flush with no gap. Great for hook set control. Water bottle accuracy drill. Fill a bottle halfway with sand, place it 10 meters away, and draw a circle. Cast into the circle 50 times a day. Nighttime? Not practice. Turn off the lights and practice tying knots in the dark. It sharpens muscle memory for fishing. In low light, final thoughts: fishing is all about practice, not gimmicks. Don't get caught up in hype around magic baits or secret formulas. Nail the basics, build your skills, and the fish will come to you. Before your next trip, read this article twice. If you're still struggling to catch anything, bring your gear and find me. I'll teach you him. About the author: I'm an avid angler and fishing content creator. I love sharing practical tips and stories from the water. Follow me for more insights into the art of fishing. Don't forget to like, save, and subscribe so you won't miss future updates.